Okay, so she's got I'm going to just refer to them by the age and the first letter of their name, so that in case, I'm sure these kids, I'm going to talk about how I think they already know a lot that's going on because they've been involved in some of the drama, at least the teens, and even the younger has been involved in the drama of the internet and the bullies and all that. So we'll talk about that as well. But this is C. He's the boy who's, I believe, is 11. And this is with Chris, that they share this child. Now, I believe that Heidi presents C as sort of problematic. Okay? She sort of presents him as someone who lies, someone who cheats, and not like cheats on their boyfriend, but cheats at games, as you'll see in this clip. She as being negative. And this is something that I relate to at being a former child, that I was always referred to as like, oh God, you're so negative. You're so negative all the time. And that was something that it bothered me a lot. Even though I tried to be positive and I was way more positive than I am now, that was something it bothered me over time. So, and like I said, these are from all different years. But okay, so there's a thing where she's like showing a card. I swear he cheated. Okay, not a big deal. But then when you see it like several times, you start to go, okay. Here's a clip where she's talking about, and a lot of these are screenshots. Here's a clip where she's talking about how Heidi herself, went to Target, bought a bunch of stuff, or in the sense of put it in her cart, and was going to take it to the register, and then somehow in a fog, because she takes so much of her own boost energy and mental clarity powder, it must not have been working that day, she took someone else's cart and took it through the register, took everything out and swiped it through or whatever, did not notice that it was not her things. So she's telling the story in her car, retelling the story, and she's explaining like, okay, this is how I figured it out. And she says, I noticed 3 cans of cream of mushroom soup that I didn't put in my cart. Why on earth would C throw these in my cart? Okay, so she had multiple children with her, I believe, but it's like, why would he be the one, to do that? So I don't know. It's just like, that was sort of odd. And then, okay, C says it wasn't him and he laughed. And I'm like, liar. Why is he trying to get away with this? And the random Luigi doll I found in my cart at a checkout. Okay, so again, just like, that's your first indication. Like, she's the one who made the mistake and took someone else's cart, but yet she's really quick to judge C for it and blame him and say that he's lying. Okay, here's a picture of her older son, M, who's a teen, and her younger son, C. And she puts the caption, laying in bed looking at pictures. This one might be my favorite from the day. How they really feel about my request to get a brother's photo. And she has an arrow and it says, doesn't care, doesn't cooperate. That's her teen son. And her young son, C, doesn't care, does a terrible job acting like he cares. Just pretty harsh, I think. Yeah, just like a harsh thing to put. And it's like, I've covered their face. The picture is fine. Like, I don't know what she got, like, she got the photo. And that's, again, her putting it on her social media to garner engagement, to then be able to sell more products from her home. I don't know. It just seems like, let your kids off the hook for one night, how about, instead of making them feel and look bad. And then this is R, her other daughter, younger daughter, and C together. And this is something they are often compared. I think that the 2 older ones are compared together more, and the 2 younger ones are compared together more. And he's walking out, it's a boomerang. He's walking out and just sort of like looking forward, and she's like smiling. And the caption says, one of them is clearly stealing energy from the other. Again, could be interpreted as innocent, no big deal, but there was another one, I don't know if I exported that one, but there was a video recently where R, the girl, was singing in the car to Taylor Swift, and she pans the camera to C, who's just sitting in the car, and she's like, oh, the energy, I wish I had her energy, not like C's energy. So it's just, again, is it the worst thing I've ever seen in the world? No. But this passive aggressive, narrative builds over time. I don't think it's fair to any of the kids, because if you're put as the positive, beaming energy character in your life too, I feel like there's a risk that now you feel pressure as a 9-year-old girl to be happy all the time, even when you're going through things that you don't feel like make you want to be a beam of light today. I think that's unfair pressure as a child to make your parents or mother in this case smile. And we're going to go way more into detail about that in a minute too. But more on C. So in addition to all of the stuff that was going on with Dave, the speculation of like the 24 hours last night were horrible, I went to therapy, whatever. Okay, then these posts sort of followed. And this to me is like putting your emotional baggage on a child, number one. Number two, your son is not an old soul, an old man that's wise beyond his years. He's a child, okay? And so you talking to him is, number one, I think inappropriate to begin with. And number two, now you're putting pressure on him to understand adult concerns and problems in which he cannot grasp them. And to put that pressure onto him, even by saying it in a complimentary form, I think is not great. Okay, but this is what it says. He's an 80-year-old wise man trapped in an 11-year-old body. It's amazing to me how the pure soul of a kind-hearted kid I phased by... I don't know. She did not proofread, I don't think. It's amazing to me how the pure soul of a kind-hearted kid I phased by much of the world yet. I don't know if is phased by much or is not phased. I don't know what she meant to say. Can somehow see through the BS of what we make matter and remind us what really matters. I think that's your job, Heidi, to have your children focus on things that you think matter in your life. But okay. Little dude, the depth of conversations with him over the last 36 hours. Wow. Why? He's 11 years old. What depth could you get to? I don't know. Doesn't seem healthy to me. And then another picture of him. And the seriousness and overachieving literally never stops with this one. My little Buddha, wise man, all in his head and feelings. Love him. Overachieving? Because he's playing a game? Like, I don't know. It's just very weird. My little Buddha. Get a therapist, Heidi. Like, please, for all of us. Just... Your child's not 80 years old. He's 11. He needs help, probably, and you need help, in my opinion. Okay. This one's sort of less egregious, but it just sort of shows more oversharing at the least, unnecessary it's just unnecessary, I think. But okay, so she shares text messages with her children often. And so she also has built this narrative that C is very into technology, loves video games and that sort of thing, but that she finds it necessary to limit that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Limiting social media, limiting internet time, limiting video games, I think is fine. You're a parent. You do what you want in your house. But again, taking that rule and that proclamation and then exporting it to your 500,000 people on the internet who are going to see this boy grow up to be a man someday, I just find it unnecessary. Okay, so she shares the screenshot of it, and it's like, the things Cash will do for love. Love equals tech time, which I think is an insult to him. Because she basically is, in my opinion, saying like, and this is something my mom would say to me when she was in disagreement with me, you don't love me. you don't love me. It's like, okay. That makes me feel good as a child. And then she shares this video, and I believe it's a private video that he was showing her, sent to her, like, hey, I cleaned the toilet for you.
This one, see, front and here, and then you could see there's soap suds and a little bit of blue. So that's proof I cleaned this one. See, all clean. And I'm going upstairs now.
Okay, so again, overshare. And then this is from a different day, but she has a thing about chores. It's like chores are the most important thing that kids can do outside of being her social media, in my opinion, according to what I see on here. And she shows her kids doing chores a lot. Now, this part I'm just a little bit confused about like what is the point of this? But she's like, it's going to be a good day when C decides to love on you by making your bed in my blue sunnies at 8:40 a.m. And she's showing him making the bed, making her bed for some reason. Why? I don't know. And then follows it up with, now that one was okay, I guess. Don't put your kid on the internet. That's like my overt rule. So if you got your kid on the internet, I'm like, I'm already out. But, on the scale of bad, I think it wasn't so bad. But then when this one follows it up, that's why I was like, okay, it is bad. All around stud muffin, learning at a very young age the power of making a woman's bed for her. Your child is 11 years old. Dave does the same thing where he takes his child, his boy, young boy, F, and will say like, you got a girlfriend? You got a girlfriend? You're kissing girls in camp? Oh, you're going to go on a date? Oh, you like a girl? His mother, Rachel Hollis, also, oh, my boy, he got broken up with. It was the funniest thing in the whole world. It was so hilarious. And just like, these kids are not dating each other. And that's why they think it's like so funny and innocent. But to me, it's like, that's not, if you were a kid, you would be like horrified. I would be horrified about my information being out there like that. A couple things with this one rubbed me the wrong way. First of all, Dave is the one recording this. Creepy. They're in bed again, so I'm already against it. It's in their home, I'm against it. It's in their bed, I'm double against it. Triple against it being recorded by your mom's relatively new boyfriend while you're on vacation. And here's a personal story. One time my mom was dating somebody, and I was probably 11 or 12. And my dad was in prison at the time. So, okay, just give you an idea of my headspace. And it was a hurricane was coming. Okay, there's a lot of shit going on at that time in my life. And the guy she was dating had like a flashlight or something. And I was like, can I see it? And he was in the bed. I was in the bed with him. And he's like, no, it's mine. And I'm like, give it to me. And we're kind of like, like I'm 12. And he puts it like where his zipper is. And I was like, oh, okay, that crossed the line. Cause I'm like grabbing for the flashlight. And to me, I was like, oh, okay. And can you imagine if that was recorded on video and then posted and going, oh, what a funny moment or something? That like didn't traumatize me necessarily, but that I still have the memory in my head about how that to me emotionally and crossed a line. I didn't know this guy. I had barely like met him, a month before because my mom had him around. Anyways, it just shows like you don't know these people that well yet. And thankfully my mom didn't listen to me and, when I told her what happened, but there's just like, I think there needs to be big, huge boundaries put in place with someone outside of your family coming in and like interacting with your children. Anyways, so first problem is Dave's filming it. Second problem is they're in bed. Third problem is C, who is the person sort of performing in this video for social media, I guess. She's gonna discount that and focus on R, the girl child, his biological sister, fully, and make it about her and how she's actually the real star. So I find that to be unfair. Through the sunlight, if the world only knew. And it says, our last night at the beach looked like this. He's cute. His singing is adorable, but, and then tags Dave.
Holding back heart attacks every night. Oh, you know it's not right. I will follow you way down wherever you may go. Follow you way down.
It says Dave's camera work combined with R's passion is the standout here. Why? And she's singing too, but quietly in the corner. I don't know why he always needs to be put down by Heidi, is what it seems. And it's hard to tell, like I said, because like, you know, I've covered their faces, but like, you know, he's singing, the sister's like sort of mouthing the words, but that's going to be the focus of this thing. That shouldn't even be done anyways. And again, Dave is the one recording this. For what reason? We'll never know.
Wherever life takes you, you know I'll follow you.
Okay. That's one thing. Now here's another Dave involvement. It says Dave explaining his 1969 Ford Bronco build. I think a lot of people are gonna be upset by this, so buckle up. It says parking lot conversations. Dave, I believe the clinical term is midlife crisis. Okay. So there's a lot going on. I don't know exactly the context of everything, but it seems like they're walking in a parking lot and Dave's explaining why he got a 1969 Ford Bronco and makes a joke that it's a midlife crisis. Okay, fine. I don't have a problem with you saying something like that to a kid, personally. But this part, I'm like, this to me is weird. Why are you doing this? Why is Heidi recording it? What's going on?
Your mind knows better.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Your body just commits.
Your mind is telling you no, but your body is saying yes.
So he's like, your mind is telling you no, but your body is telling you yes. And it says, Dave starts a song. Cash brings it home. Oh, sorry, C. I'm sorry.
My mind's telling me no, but my body
Says go.
body's telling me yeah.
So he decides to sing an R. Kelly song, which, okay, Dave, great. And is not really even walking with the C at all. He's sort of walking in front of him, singing an R. Kelly song, and then C is sort of disturbed, it looks like in the footage. Heidi acknowledges that and says, C is over it, ready for mom love. And she's like, sorry, buddy.
Love you.
Why are you posting that? What is the good of that? And you're showing your boyfriend that your son is not interested in your weird singing and story. For what? Like, why? Okay, that's already weird enough. But posting it to everybody, I just don't understand the logic of it. It means nothing. Like, I've always said before, Heidi likes to make Dave look bad. That makes Dave look bad. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it in that case, but she will post things that only make her look good, I guess. Her kids look bad. The boyfriend looks bad. She doesn't look good either, I guess. But I don't understand what the content even is at that point. Another accusation I'm going to launch at Heidi is that a lot of times when she references C, she brings in someone else. And so like he doesn't get a post on his own a lot. It always is wrapped up in someone else being connected. So in that last one, it was with Dave. And the first one, it was really about Dave and the sister R. And in this one, it's going to be about Dave again. So it says, it's been nonstop lately. I stopped letting him have a phone at all during the days/school weeks, told him to find a good book or something, and he's clung to the piano. Okay. So instead of just like showing that, she's showing it, she's FaceTiming Dave while listening to her son play piano. And again, that's the star of the post, is that Dave is there to witness it because her son playing piano apparently is not good enough. It needs to be validated by Dave. It says, pretty soon, Wishing Well became a concert piece for N and Dave. Okay. And then it says, and then tags Dave and says, thanks for listening to 10 straight minutes this morning. You're the greatest. Wouldn't you also want to listen to your kid that's playing piano for you for 10 minutes? You have to thank Dave publicly for putting up with that. It just, I feel badly for him. He seems like a very sweet, sensitive kid. And then to be, propped up like this. It just, I don't know. And then same thing, piano, similar, but this time it's a memory. They're already divorced at this point by like a year, 2 years essentially. She still tags her ex-husband a lot. She's been tagging him recently a lot more too. But again, like the memory's not about her son, it's about her ex-husband. Okay, and just posting them together. Okay, whatever. And then this one's posting him at a concert, but can't just have that be the post. It has to be texting or tagging somebody. I can't tell if I need bigger pants or if this is the style. So again, sort of making fun of his looks and his outfit. Like he can't just be, oh, my son is performing violin at this event. No, it's, I gotta tag my friend, make a joke about how his pants are too high. Whatever. Maybe it's innocent, but again, on the larger scale, looking at the pattern, I just find it, she always is leveling these insults at C. And here's one, C won like first place at this event for this martial art. And again, she's going to talk about her daughter, who's not involved, and she's going to talk about her ex-husband. I found out last night at ours fence recital, I think that's supposed to be dance, and cried like a baby to Chris, who truly was the best friend / co-parent in the world, and tried to help me, and more importantly, C, feel okay about it. So now you're admitting to the whole world that you didn't remember that your son had a event. And now you're going to talk about your daughter's event that you did remember and were there for. Anyways, okay. Let's go into a little bit more too. This is just another example of C and R being positioned against each other. Now, like I said, they had the same dad. They're closer in age to each other. But I find that in the content that she pushes, they're often compared and not in a positive way necessarily. So this one is C. It says only the biggest pumpkin for C boy, weighing in at a solid 30 pounds. Very on brand. I don't know what that means. What that means exactly. Like what is on brand about it, but okay. And then similar post, but with R, it says, and then of course, a perfectly round one with a perfect stem for sweet little R, her perfect little 14-pound deadlift at the end. Ha ha ha. So she's perfect and he's heavy. Unless there's some sort of inside joke that I'm just not understanding based on these posts. And I don't know if anyone is watching these more closely necessarily than I am, but maybe I'm just missing the joke. And here's similar thing, but a different scenario at skating. R in all of her skate glory, so much fun, and she hasn't even fell once. Okay, so pretty positive. And then we got C. I feel like I'm getting an accurate peek into C's future 80 years from now. Honestly, I don't think there will be a year C is alive where he visits the skate land and is not equally as cautious. I love his very careful self. He is his dad's son, and then tags the dad because, of course, like I said, with C, it's never enough for him to be posted. It has to involve another person in her life to tag and to bring on for whatever reason. That seems to be a pattern. Like, oh, Dave watched him play piano. That's his dad. Look, my friend, we can buy him better clothes. Like, I don't know why that's a thing.